jazz voicings and comping methods. This really works well with any 12-bar blues song. So if somebody's playing like Sweet Home Chicago. And I apologize if you can't see my left hand right now, but the focus is going to be on the right hand. So what am I doing? Let me show you what these are called. First of all, the sharp 9 chord. You're in the key of C. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? So the D is your 9 coming up over an octave. That's your 9. A sharp 9 is the same thing as a minor third, but why is it a sharp 9? Because it's a chord. The sharp 9 is your major third on the bottom, your dominant 7, or your minor 7. This is your major 7, minor 7. So major third, dominant 7, minor third. That's your sharp 9 chord. Okay, and in the key of C, you'll use 2 different chords over the root, either your sharp 9 or your 13. Now let me show you what the 13 is. The 13 is the dominant 7, the major third, and the major 6th. So it's the difference in tritone and where the tritone goes. But you'll note that the consistent variables are the dominant 7 and the major third. Alright, now I don't want to get too technical. I just want to tell you why it's a jazz chord. It's a jazz chord because of the major third and the dominant 7. And then, depending on the tritone that you use, changes if it's a sharp 9 or a 13. Why is this a 13? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay? Whatever your top note is what the name of your chord is. Alright, so how do you play that? Let's give you just a basic groove. Okay, this is a 12-bar blues. I'm going to start throwing those in more. Here's your sharp 9, 13. I know what you're thinking. That doesn't sound very pretty like that. But when you have that kind of thing going on, and then you add either 5, 1, 5, if you remember from the other video, when you add that in there, that sounds pretty nice. So you actually get a nice little pretend you're doing that kind of thing with it. Now here's a trick I want to teach you about this. That is your sharp 9 over the root, over C. To go to the 4 chord, which would be F, you take this sharp 9 chord and take every note down a half step. So we're going to go from E to E flat, B flat to A, E flat to D, and that is the 13 chord of the 4 chord. So look, root, 4, sharp 9, 13. Okay? Now also, to go to the 5 chord from your root, you go up a half step. Look at that. Minimal movement, and you're really changing the broad coloration, the broad spectrum of your jazz voicings. Now put that in perspective. Somebody else is playing this, and then you're playing this. focused on is keeping some kind of an octave in your right hand. You can even, depending on how you want to do it. My personal preference is when I'm playing the sharp 9, then I add 5, 1, 5. If I'm playing the 13, then I'll go 1, 5, 1. But you can do both, you know. You can get some crossover in there. And then you get a nice little jazz cluster. Same thing up here. You're going from sharp 9 to 13, sharp 9 to 13. But here's another trick I want to teach you. The sharp 9 chord in one key is also the 13 chord in another key. So to give you an example of that, what's the one I was just thinking of? Here's a sharp 9 chord, or here's the 13 chord in the key of E flat, okay? So that's, but in the key of A, going to the tritone, that's a sharp 9. So it was a 13, now it becomes a sharp 9, and I didn't move this at all. So let's go up. That's E flat. I'm trying to do some math in my head. Over the C, that is a sharp 9 chord. Over the F sharp, that is a 13 chord. So you can balance this between tritones as well. I know this is extremely confusing, but once you get it, it's actually kind of a remarkable trick once you learn it. So sit there and play with the idea of going down between these. And realize that you're going between sharp 9, 13, sharp 9, 13 chromatically. Depending on what key you're in, because like I said, if you're in the key of C, that is a sharp 9 chord. But if you're in the key of F sharp, that is a 13 chord. It's these tritones. It just that makes some ideas of some different kind of jazz voicings you can do. But keep it simple for now. The song Honky Cat has that structure too. Try to find something that you can compare what you're already playing to those intervals, so you get used to them. And this will give your left hand something to do. So you can do some pulsing with that left hand. It's just a nice little tool to make it nice instantly sound like you know what you're doing. Teach yourself and improve your comping. Okay, there you go.